kids, Stacy and I are here today to talk to you a little bit about belief. Last week, we had a look at the fear nots. There are 366 fear nots in the Bible. That's a lot. Yeah. We also looked at the story of Elijah and how he faced a lot of scary situations, but he grew in faith.
Yeah, that's right. We learned that we can trust God, our Heavenly Father, through anything because He loves us, He cares for us, and He's Almighty God. So we can trust Him to help us and to strengthen us, just like our memory verse said.
That's right. And there are a lot of stories in the Bible that talk about faith and growing in faith. We're going to have a look at some of those today.
Hey, it's Fun Fact Guys here today, and I have another fun fact for you. Here it is. The New Testament, all of it, is written in not English, but Greek. I know a little bit of Greek, and here's the Greek word for faith. Pistis. And that means to confidently trust in something. And we get that from God. I'll see you later.
So faith and trust grow whenever we can see someone that we can trust and we learn that we can trust them. So, for example, last week, maybe when you did the trust fall with your parents, maybe the first time it was a little more difficult to fall straight backward. But after they caught you the first time, you learned that you could trust them. And it's the same way with God.
That's right. The first time that I did it with Ellie, she was definitely a lot more scared. But the second time, her fear started to fade away because she trusted me more to catch her. We're going to have a look this week at someone who learned how to trust God. His faith grew, and it's a really, really cool story. So we're going to have a look in the Old Testament at Judges chapters 6 to 8. And we're going to read it in this book right here. We're going to look at Gideon. So God told Gideon that he would save Israel from the Midianites. The Midianite army was so huge that it couldn't be counted. God had to help Gideon grow in his faith all along the way. And when God first told Gideon to lead an army, Gideon did not want to. He was scared because he was from the smallest and weakest tribe of Israel. He told God, "If you want me to be in charge of an army, you have to show me." So he set out a fleece, and he said, "God, if the fleece is wet and the ground is dry when I wake up in the morning, I'll lead your army." That's exactly what God did. But Gideon's faith wasn't strong still. So he asked God to do it again, but this time to make the ground wet and the fleece dry. And again, that's exactly what God did. He showed Gideon that he was there. He heard Gideon's prayer. Finally, Gideon called together an army of Israelites from all over the land. It was just a little army compared to the Midianites, but it was an army nonetheless. God told Gideon, "You have too many soldiers. When I give you a victory, they will think that they won the battle by themselves. Tell anyone who is afraid of fighting that they can go home." So Gideon did. For every soldier that left, 2 went home and 1 stayed. Gideon had much smaller of an army, a tiny fraction of the Midian's army. But there were still too many soldiers. God told Gideon, "Take the people down to the water. Let them have a drink from the river. Whoever cups their hands and brings the water up to their mouth, you can keep. Whoever kneels down and laps the water like a dog, send home." So Gideon did what God said, and he found that he only had 300 soldiers left. 300 soldiers against a huge army. That army went as far as the eye could see. You'd expect that Gideon was a little bit nervous, a little bit scared. So in the middle of the night, Gideon and the 3 men crept down to the Midianite camp. In the silent darkness, they planned their attack. But they didn't have weapons. They had trumpets and clay pots with a torch inside. On Gideon's signal, they all blew the blast of their trumpet, smashed the jars, and let the torchlight shine out. And then the Israelites shouted for the Lord and for Gideon. The trumpets were sounded, the lights confused the Midianites, and they panicked and fled. God gave the victory to the Israelites, and the Bible tells us that the Midianites were no longer a threat to Israel.
Wow. You know, in all the books and movies, the stories that I see, it always seems like the bigger army is going to win. But that's not how God did it. God took a tiny army of only 300 with no weapons, just torches and trumpets.
Yep.
And they defeated the mighty Midianite army of 120,000 men.
Yep. God showed that he would bring the Israelites through. He showed Gideon time and time and time again that Gideon could trust him to bring them through. You had the fleece a second time. Then he started sending people home, and Gideon must have got really scared. But God showed up, God came through, and God won the victory for the Israelites.
Fun fact guy here again. I just flew down from the sky. That's awesome. Anyway, here's another fun fact. Did you know this is not the only time that God used trumpets to defeat people for his people? Joshua walked around the whole entire wall called Jericho, and they used trumpets to defeat them. Just trumpets. That's pretty cool. Where's my trumpet? I gotta go find it.
That was a great example of someone learning and trusting in God. He could see God's power was always going to help him every single step of the way. And God would do exactly what he said he would.
You're right. Gideon grew in his faith. He started with just a little, and he grew as he went on and as he obeyed God. When I was a kid, I remember this song, and it said, "Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe." And I've always thought about it. If I believe and I have faith in God and I trust him, the best way that I can show it is to obey what he asks me to do.
Yeah. When we live as children of God and we obey what he says, we can trust him to lead us in the right direction, right? He's not going to lead us off a cliff or into a wall. We can trust that he loves us and he's going to lead us in the right way because God is in control.
Always. Even when we don't feel like there's very much control around. There are amazing faith stories in the Bible. You go way back to Genesis and you look at Abraham and Isaac. You go through the Old Testament, you get to Esther and the faith that she showed when she stood up for the Jews. Then you go into the New Testament, you see Mary and the faith that she showed in having Jesus. And then you meet the disciples. Do you remember when Peter walked on water? He had to keep his eyes on Jesus. He had to keep his focus and his faith in Jesus keeping him safe and allowing him to walk on water. When he stopped, he looked away, he started to sink.
Yeah. The Bible says that we have to keep our eyes, our focus on God and follow what he says. It might not always look like what we think it's going to look like. I bet Gideon didn't think that he was going to win a battle with only 300 men. I bet Peter didn't think he was going to walk on water. But those are things that God can do. And so we follow and trust what he tells us. That's called faith. And that's where we get to our Bible verse this week. It's from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6.
And what does it say?
It says, "Without faith, it is impossible to please God. For whoever would draw near to God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him."
I'm going to be trying really hard to learn that one this week. It's a great verse to keep in my back pocket for when I'm feeling scared.
Absolutely.
Fun fact guy here. Found my trumpet, by the way. That's a fun fact. Here's another fun fact. Did you know we have the Football Hall of Fame here in Ohio? And when you go there, there are tons of athletes that have been inducted in the Hall of Fame for their great accomplishments in that sport. Did you also know this? Hebrews chapter 11 is called the Great Hall of Faith, and it has all these amazing people in it, at least 17. And did you know that our boy Gideon is in that list? That's right, Gideon made the list, him and his trumpet. Fun fact guy out. Oh wait, I forgot something.
We can't wait to see you guys memorizing that verse this week, putting it up online using hashtag TBC Ohio Kids and tagging at Branch Church OH. We also have a challenge that we would like to see you do. We would like you to do an obstacle course, but with a little bit of a twist. So let's see how Matt and Inga handled it.
All right, so Matt, you're going to take 2 steps forward. 1 more half step. Take your left leg. Yep. You got it. All right. Now put your foot back where it was. Go forward 3 steps. And like inch to your right side, like inch over a little bit. Oh, too far. Oh, no. Go back. No. Go back to where you were before. No. Okay, 1 more step to the right. All right, take your right foot. It's like right in front of your foot. Little cone. Up. All right, move forward 2 steps. Take 1 step to the left. Now, put your left foot like diagonal. Nope, diagonal forward. All right. Oh, yep, there you go. Take 2 steps forward. Take 1 step to the right. Take a baby step backwards. Okay. Yeah, you got it. You sure? All right. Take a step to the left now. All right. You're kind of angled, so like make yourself like straight, parallel. No. The other way. There you go. Okay. 2 steps forward. Take 1 step to the left. All right. Now you can tap with your foot. Another baby step to the left. Oh, there you got it. All right. Now this part's pretty important. Okay, you can get on all 4s now. Oh, go down. Yeah, down. You gotta get down. Yep. Keep crawling. All right. Take a step forward. Take 2 steps to your right. Now take 1 step forward. All right. Determining if I want to make you frog jump or regular jump. Are you comfortable with frog jumping? All right, get down in the frog position. Yep. Don't do it. Never mind, don't do it. Get back up in your regular position. Yeah, take a little step forward and then just take a good hop. Yeah, decent, but not like a lot. Perfect. All right, now take 2 steps forward. Inch to your left a little bit. Go forward. Oh, inch back to your right. Nope, go back right. Take a tiny step to the right. All right, that was big, but that's okay. You're doing great. Take 1 step forward. Another step forward. Another step forward. Take 3 steps to your right. Again, 1 last step. Forward, 1. All right. I think 1 baby step forward. All right. 2 steps to your left. 1 step forward.
They showed great faith, walking all the way through that obstacle course without being able to see it. And we want you guys to do the same thing. So, set up an obstacle course in your house with your parents' permission and help. Then blindfold yourself and have someone else probably a parent, guide you through. Learn to listen to their voice and follow their instructions, just like we are supposed to listen for God's voice and follow His instructions for how we should live our life.
That's right. We want to see your obstacle courses, your Bible memory, and keep an eye on social media. There'll be a special announcement coming on Wednesday. We can't wait to see you next week, and we